It's time. In my Spotlight ranking video, I promised that if there was enough interest, I'd rank all the Spotlight featured cars. Well, you guys came through, and now here we are. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. And hey, if you enjoy content like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It helps me keep pumping out more videos just like this for you guys. Now, we've had 6 Spotlights so far, which means 6 cars. I'll be ranking them based on their stats, their actual usefulness, and where they stand in the bigger picture. And trust me, this list is unexpected. At number 6, we have the SSC Ultimate Aero TT. This was the featured car of the Racing Around the World Spotlight. And honestly, this thing was glued to the bottom of my list from day one. I even asked you guys if you agreed, and over 90% of you said yes. So yeah, it's not just me. This car is crap, it looks crap, and it drives crap. So let's break down why. At golden rank, it has a top speed of 428.8 km per hour without nitro. On paper, that sounds fine, but for an S-Class car, it's nowhere near competitive. And you'd think with that kind of speed, it would at least have some type of acceleration to back it up, right? Maybe something like the Rimac Nevera Time Attack? But no. Instead, it sits at a laughable 79.69. Yep, that's not a typo. And it gets worse. Handling is 49.02. This thing drifts like it wants to float, but ends up fading miserably. Honestly, it's like the Razor tartar sauce. Sorry, I mean tartarus. Wide drift radius, constant speed bleed, and with acceleration this bad, you can't recover any of it. Nitro is the only okay stat at 63.89. But trust me, it doesn't save this car. So, would I recommend going for this car if it ever comes back? Absolutely not. If you're a collector, fine, I understand. But if you're looking for multiplayer, gauntlet, or literally any competitive mode, do not waste your tokens. This car is a straight up disaster for S-Class. In short, it's fast on paper, but garbage everywhere else. This takes the bottom of the barrel. At number 5, we have the Lego Technic Aston Martin Valkyrie. Okay, let's be clear about this. This car isn't bad. It's actually a well-rounded Class A car. But the problem is, being well-rounded doesn't cut it when you're up against what else is on this list. That's why the Lego Valkyrie lands here in 5th spot. At golden rank, it has a top speed of 372.3 km per hour. Pretty solid for a Class A vehicle. Acceleration is also respectable at 81.04. Handling and nitro sit at 65.74 and 59.77 respectively, which makes this car balanced across the board. So yeah, the Lego Valkyrie can definitely deliver some solid races if you put the time into mastering it. But here's the problem. In practice, it's just forgettable. There are simply better Class A options out there, like the Honda Electric Dendrobium, which completely outshines it. So my advice, don't waste your tokens on this one either. Unless you're a hardcore Lego fan, this is just an average car that doesn't stand out. Go save up for the Honda and use your credits on that. At number 4, we have the Bugatti Chiron Per Sport. This one was tough. I went back and forth on its placement, and even asked around a bunch of Discord servers. And yeah, some people are going to disagree with me here. The Chiron Per Sport was the featured car of the Easter Extravaganza Spotlight, and it's a really good car. Almost OP in some areas, but one stat holds it back unfortunately. At golden rank, the top speed is 397.8 km per hour. For S-Class, that's a huge letdown, especially when the other cars in this list of the same class are comfortably cruising above 420 km per hour. Now, acceleration, that's amazing. It's at 87.01. That's top tier stuff, though some players say the Per Sport suffers from false negative acceleration, meaning it feels slower in practice than the stat shows. I can't personally confirm that, but it's something to keep in mind. Handling? The handling is fantastic. It has this floaty, easy to control style that a lot of players love. Nitro is strong too, sitting at 65.32. So yeah, the Per Sport is a brilliant car in almost every way, but in S-Class, speed is king. And with a cap under 400, it just can't keep up. That's why it's stuck at number 4 on this list, even if it feels unfair. At number 3, we have the Koenigsegg Agera RS. Alright, this is where things get tricky. If there's one spot on this list I'm not fully confident about, it's this one. Because the Agera versus the Per Sport, that matchup is way closer than what you might think. The Agera is a powerhouse S-Class car with one major drawback that keeps it from climbing higher. At golden rank, it has a top speed of 484.8 km per hour. That means that this car can reach over 500 km per hour with nitro. That's insane. Easily one of the fastest cars on this list. But then we look at the acceleration. Only 79.67. And the handling and nitro sit at 60.03 and 58.86. So what does that mean in practice? Well, on track, the low acceleration really drags this car down early on. You'll find yourself struggling to get up to speed compared to other S-Class beasts. But once you do reach that top speed, the Agera comes alive. The nitro helps it hold momentum or regain it quickly, and on long straights, it absolutely shreds. Now, what's the problem? This car drifts wide. Yes, it has some floaty capabilities, but don't let that fool you. For beginners, it's honestly a nightmare. The Persport would definitely feel easier and more reliable, but if you know how to control the Agera, if you really harness it, you can do some serious damage. So when it comes down to the Agera versus the Persport, it's basically track dependent. On twisty technical tracks, the Persport shines, but on more open flowy tracks, the Agera dominates, pretty evenly matched overall. That said, the Agera is not in the same league as the Jesko or the CC850. And honestly, I wouldn't recommend spending your tokens on it, unless you're a collector. Why? Because the McLaren Speedtail and the Chiron Nemesis exist. The Speedtail is easier to drive, and the Chiron is ridiculously easy to get. Both of them will give you way more value than the Agera RS. At number 2, we have the Bugatti Chiron, the OG king of asphalt. The Chiron has been around forever, and yet it still shines to this very day. And with Evo tuning, it's been buffed even further, but we're not going to dive into that in this video. At golden rank, the stats look like this. Top speed, 443.4 km per hour. Acceleration, 84.4. Handling, 45.62. Nitro, 63.63. Now, here's the thing. If you've driven the Chiron, you already know that these numbers don't tell the full story. On paper, a handling stat of 45.62 looks terrible, but in practice, the Chiron handles way better than that suggests. Its drift radius is surprisingly sharp, and it has strong floaty capabilities, letting you glide through corners while maintaining speed. This is what makes the Chiron special. It has the perfect balance, a great top speed, solid acceleration, reliable nitro, and handling that feels much better than the stat sheet claims. It doesn't just drive well, it feels smooth, consistent, and satisfying. That's why it's been a fan favorite for years. And here's the beauty of it. The Chiron works for everyone. For veteran players, it's a versatile weapon that can keep up in tough races. For beginners, it's forgiving and easy to learn, with no glaring weaknesses that punish mistakes. It's the kind of car that grows with you as a player. Now let me make this very clear. Do not spend tokens on the Chiron. This isn't some hard-to-get exclusive spotlight car. It unlocks naturally at garage level 20, and you can max it out using nothing but credits from the Legend store. That's right, no tokens required, which makes it honestly one of the best investments in the entire game. Once you finally add this beast to your garage and start upgrading it, you'll understand exactly why it's held the crown for so long. Even today, with all the new flashy cars in the game, the Bugatti Chiron still proves it can hang with the best of them. The OG king, and still one of the most reliable cars in asphalt. At number 1, we have the Hennessey Venom F5. And here it is, the number 1 spotlight featured car. Honestly, I'm pretty sure no one would be surprised. And this is the only car on this entire list where I'd say, if it ever comes back, spend your tokens. No hesitation. The Venom F5 is just that good. At golden rank, it has a top speed of 512.3 km per hour, an absolutely absurd number that leaves most of the S-Class cars in the dust. The acceleration sits at 80.66, which isn't top tier, but it's more than enough when combined with this car's raw speed. On paper though, the handling and nitro stats look terrible. 49.07 for handling and 46 for nitro efficiency. But if you looked just at those numbers, you'd think this car would be undrivable. But here's the thing. Gameloft's handling values at the time made absolutely no sense, because in reality, the Venom handles like it's a stat in the 80s. I don't know what they were smoking when they put 49 on the sheet, but trust me, the Venom is smooth, sharp, and insanely floaty. It glides through corners like butter, letting you hold speed where other cars bleed it away. Even at 1 star, this car is a monster. My own Venom is sitting at 1 star, and I still win races with it comfortably. That's how ridiculous this thing is. Now yes, some players struggle with the low nitro efficiency. You've got to be smart about when and where you boost. But if you take the time to master it, the Venom becomes a weapon of mass destruction. Despite being ranked only 7th overall in S-Class today, it easily outperforms cars like the Koenigsegg CC850, the Jesko Absolute, and the Bugatti Bolide. In the hands of a skilled player, it can even rival monsters like the Arash Imperium or Devil 16. And that's what makes the Venom F5 so special. It's not just strong, it's timeless. Years after its release, it's still one of the 3 best cars in the entire game. If it ever comes back, do whatever it takes to grab it. Just maybe don't sell your kidneys for it. I may be hyping it up, but I'm still a responsible guy. The Venom F5, an absolute legend, and the undisputed king of the Spotlight featured cars. And that's it. The full ranking of every Spotlight car so far. Honestly, this list surprised even me while I was making it. Some cars looked amazing on paper, but turned out to be worse in practice, while others punched way above their stats. The Venom F5 though, that car is just built different. If you've got it, you know exactly what I mean. If you don't, then cross your fingers, hoping Gameloft brings it back, because trust me, you'll want it. Now, I want to hear from you guys. Do you agree with my rankings? Did I underrate the Agera? Did I overhype the Venom? Let me know down below. I read every single comment, and your takes always spark some insane debates. If you enjoyed this ranking, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, because I've got more rankings, breakdowns, and guides coming soon. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's next. Until then, this is X2 signing off. Keep racing, keep winning, and I'll see you in the next one.